everybody, Sam here from VirtuX. Today I'm here with David Hughes from Mulberry Risk Limited, and I'm going to be doing an interview with him about the work that we've been doing together over the last 6 months. So David, welcome. Would you like to tell me a little bit about you and your business?
Hi Sam, yes, I'm the CEO and founder of Mulberry Risk. I started Mulberry Risk about 4 years ago as a niche consultancy in the London insurance market. We provide what are called actuarial services. So for those who aren't in the insurance industry, that's basically insurance mathematicians to small insurance businesses called MGAs. They're in a very niche sector. They basically provide virtual underwriting of insurance for brokers, etc., and the big insurance companies. And this is our particular sector.
Great. So what were your reasons for connecting with me to start with?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking when we did connect, it took a while for us to actually fully engage. The reason was, and particularly why it took so long to actually become a client of yours, my diary was just overwhelming me. Before lockdown, I'd have 25 meetings a week, and these would be a lot of them face to face. There'd be phone calls, but never really used video calls much at all. And then with lockdown, of course, we all moved on to Zoom and Teams, and it just exploded. And my calendar started having 60 meetings a week, and I was finding I was getting overwhelmed. And I was struggling with three things. One was getting enough spare time in the day to actually get work done. Second one was I had triple booked meetings. It was it was just becoming unbearable and unworkable. And thirdly, it was just scheduling meetings is a lot of hard work, getting times together. And so I was trying to do all this and I just couldn't manage it. So thankfully, one of my clients, Sam White at Freedom Group, big shout out to Sam, another Sam, of course. She lent me one of her assistants, Chantel, who's super assistant. And Chantel just really helped me get stuff organised and back on track. And then Sean wasn't a long-term solution, so I then needed to find a virtual assistant, and hence you. Now, we couldn't afford a full-time assistant, so I needed to start off small, someone just to come in and help. And of course, you've added more and more help to me, and and your time and work with us has grown with that. But it's always been on a value-add basis.
That's brilliant. So would you say that I've had a positive impact on your diary with all those meetings going on?
Yeah, it's been a big impact. I think there's been an impact on me personally in terms of had more time freed up. I mean, I think reorganising scheduling meetings was costing me about 5 hours a week. So you've saved all that alone. But I think just the organisation of those meetings, the professionalism around them's improved, which gives ultimately a really much better experience for my clients as well. They're getting better responses, getting better scheduling of meetings. And even when things have to be rescheduled, which gets quite difficult at times, it all runs much more smoothly. So it's a better outcome for us all involved, actually.
Great. So you run a very successful small business. You've got a number of employees. So what would you say are the biggest challenges that you've faced since lockdown, and how would you see a VA helping you with these challenges moving forwards in the future?
I think I've covered one of the big challenges is, we are a consultancy, and we have clients, and they value FaceTime, and we have to talk to our clients and help them, and so the number of meetings has exploded. What could have been just a very quick phone call seems to now be a 30, 40, 60-minute video conference. The other side is actually on the employee side as well. It almost feels really hard to spend time with my employees, making myself available to them. And again, when you're all in the office, and something which would be use the American expression, a water cooler conversation, actually becomes a bit more formal. So it's ways of trying to overcome those challenges. So I think you've come up with good ideas about ways we can, get the teams communicating better. You suggest, people know that if I'm really busy, they'll message you, and then you'll move meetings around, and some of the new people on our team might feel a bit intimidated contacting me directly, or I don't think I'd hope they wouldn't, but they can do. But they know through you, they can go through you and say, "Oh, is David busy? And can I speak to him?" And you'll say, "Yeah, absolutely." So you've really added value there. But the challenges have been, it's all about communication. There's a communication overload in one area of using video conferencing. In other areas, there's been a real lack of communication, and it's really helping to manage that.
Sounds great. So since we've been working together then, what other areas of the business have you been able to focus on now you've got some of that time back from organising and reorganising your meetings?
Yeah, I think one of the things is actually having a bit of respite between meetings. And what I mean by that is, our clients pay us to help and have an impact on their business and give them advice. And there's certainly a stage where I felt that my clients weren't getting the best from me in meetings. I was going out of one meeting and straight into the next, and it was almost like you didn't want to have me at the end of the day because I was completely energyless, really lacking. But now I've got time between meetings, so I can actually refocus, regroup, check my emails, do one of my lockdown tips of go for a walk or just refresh, look out the window. And then I'm really refreshed and ready to go into my next meeting and be the best I can for my client. That has been a big change and allowed me to have more time. As well as, I think, I'm thinking strategically. I've got post-it notes all over a wall here where I can do a bit of brainstorming, and that's to try and solve a problem for one of our clients. Or even thinking about the business, where we're going as a business strategically, and the challenges that we face, how we're going to handle those. I've got a lot more time to invest rather than just it always being late at night, or that I'm an early starter, starting at 5:30 and thinking about it then. So yeah, the time really adds a lot more productivity to my day.
Oh, good, I'm so pleased. Would you say that your personal life has benefited as well since we've been working together, in that you mentioned earlier you feel more refreshed sometimes, you get the respite? Does that lead over into personal life as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's, as you know, Juliet, my wife, works in the business. She's the finance director. So, it definitely has been better to be able to structure the day in a way that means I'm not just running around like a mad hare the whole time and just completely exhausted. So that has been good. And, I think this week I've got a birthday I need to attend. So, you're able to help me, manage the calendar much more effectively. I'm really bad at saying no. So whereas you're not saying no, you're helping my clients, get the best of me, but at the right times as well. And so this has a huge knock on into, into my private life, and also whether it's just even for me to have some time out. I find it's easier to do that as well.
Great. Okay. So lastly then, for anyone who doesn't have a virtual assistant and maybe thinking about getting one, what would you say the benefits are of having a virtual assistant?
Well, if I think of it as, a very personal journey for what I comment on, one is that right at the beginning, we were using you for, I think, 2 or 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I can't remember, that was probably costing us sort of £100-200 a month or something around that. Or and you were able to free up so much time, and so there was an immediate return from that, and without a massive investment from my side. of course, then as you got to work better, not work, you work better, as you got to work more closely with and take things off my plate and structure my day, you demonstrate value. So actually, there's never an area where this is not an unfair. It feels like a very good relationship that we have.
Yeah.
That you add value to me in different ways of taking stuff off my plate, which then allows me to reinvest that time back in the business and sometimes into myself and and private life. So those benefits are huge. Without that full commitment, you're not a full-time employee. You're very flexible. So in this time where it's really hard to predict, you're very flexible to support a business. So it's a really nice position for us to have your expertise when we need it and support, and also from our side in these unknown times going forward, having that flexibility of expense as well.
Brilliant. All right, I'll leave it there for today, but thank you so much, David, for doing this interview with me. I hope you found it useful. I think this has been great, so thank you very, very much.
Right. Cheers, Sam.
Thank you.